So Angi Inc., formerly known as Angie's List, announced it is firing, eliminating, terminating 350 jobs. Guys, that's 12.5% of their workforce. But why is this happening? Artificial intelligence, boys and girls. AI is replacing these jobs. But don't just take my word for it. Listen to what the Angi Inc's SEC filing states. Quote, "We have made the decision to reduce our workforce by approximately 350 roles, reflecting efficiency gains from technology and AI, as well as actions to simplify our organizational structure." And the big question here is who's being eliminated, who's on the chopping block, and is this something that you should be worried about? And we'll get to that in just a moment. But look, at the end of the day, for Angi, this becomes a no-brainer. They expect that this move is going to save them $70 to $80 million annually. And listen, if you went to any company, any business, and you said, hey, listen, if you start using AI in these certain places, you can save millions, tens of millions of dollars, what are they going to do? Guys, naturally, they're going to start to eliminate these roles. And if you are in one of these roles, you need to be paying attention, boys. And just a quick side note, I don't come by saying this as someone who feels 100% secure. I definitely don't feel secure, okay? However, I do know that there are some things that I can do and I am doing to ensure that I'm still able to remain relevant, respected, and financially free. And I'll give you some quick tips at the end of this video as well. And listen, you can certainly watch this video. I think that's a great thing. Like, subscribe, 6 videos, 6 days a week. But you can also subscribe to my newsletter to keep up with all the latest trends and what you need to know about the workforce. And you can go to aiupdate.ai. I'll put a link to my newsletter below to check that out. But listen, let's talk a little bit about what's happening with Angi and why this is so important. If you're not familiar with Angie's List or Angi Inc., basically, it's a very, very popular marketplace that connects homeowners with service professionals. You want a home improvement or repair, you go to Angie's List. You need a new kitchen, you go to Angi. You have a roof leak, you go to Angi. And what's interesting here is that the way that these marketplaces work have just evolved so much, especially again with how AI is impacting these roles. And what's interesting, let's kind of talk about who is being fired, who's on the chopping block, because Angi isn't publicly stating, at least they haven't yet, exactly which roles are being fired. But this move of hiring and, well, firing and then replacing human roles with AI is not new. We've seen this time and time again. And if you are following the channel, if you've been following the channel, you will say like, oh, this is a story as old as time. We are seeing this over and over and over again. And we'll talk about that here in a moment. But what we can expect to see here is they are going to be replacing these administrative, repetitive tasks. One of the most common being customer support and call center roles. Anybody that's in customer service and call center roles, these are all being replaced by AI chatbots, for better or for worse. And you know, we covered this a few weeks ago. Salesforce, Mark Benioff over at Salesforce said, hey, we're going to fire half of our customer service staff because we're just using AI chatbots to handle it. And there's pros and cons to that, but you can check out that whole story here. Big deal. In fact, I recorded another video in 2025. I was talking to a friend of mine who said that he's using AI chatbots in a series of auto mechanics, and he said these, most people don't even know that they're speaking to an AI chatbot. They're speaking to them over the phone. It sounds like a real person. And he said that these AI chatbots work 24/7, 365, and they are incredibly effective at booking appointments. So you call after hours where your secretary is off, you know, hanging out with someone at the bar. You don't need to worry about it because your AI chatbot is taking calls and booking appointments for your mechanics the next day. Check out that video here. I think you'd be really fascinated with exactly how AI is impacting the auto mechanic field. You can check that out right here. So anyway, you're seeing customer service type roles being replaced by AI. You know, one of the things that Angie's List does is a lot of manual lead matching and kind of like operational activity, you know. Basically, you're looking at, well, somebody needs to hire a roof repair guy. You know, how do we match the people that need the service with the contractors? A lot of that's being done by AI. And this kind of reminds me with what you're seeing in the HR world. Human beings aren't reading resumes anymore, guys. AI is doing this. We cover this in a video. I'm pointing out and referencing a bunch of videos because this is not new, and it is amazing to me how many people I talk to that have no freaking idea what is happening. They're like, oh, you mean AI can do that? I'm like, yeah, it's been doing it. I'll give you an example. About a year ago, there was a comment on the channel from someone who said, well, AI can't take my job because I work in a warehouse. Bro, Amazon has over 1 million AI robots in warehouses now. Don't get comfortable. There are things you can do to prepare, but don't get freaking comfortable, okay? Your family is counting on you to not be too comfortable. But anyway, we talk about job applications, job interviews, and you're sending out hundreds and hundreds of applications and not getting interviews. Well, you got to get through the initial wall, which is all these AI agents. We cover this in a video. McDonald's has screened over 64 million applications using AI. And they're not the only ones. Taco Bell, 7-Eleven, all these companies are using AI to screen all these applications. This is something that's happening, and I imagine this is something that is really, really playing out over at Angie's List. Not to mention content moderation, spam, all this stuff is being, well, not only created by AI, but also being scoured and cleaned up by AI. I don't know about you, but the amount of content that is AI generated these days is astounding. Frankly, it's probably gonna kill the internet. However, how do you fight AI slop? With AI? The same thing we're seeing in cybersecurity. How do you fight AI spam, AI phishing, AI threats? It's with AI. So it's kind of like the problem becomes the solution. And what I would say, guys, and we're gonna go over this in more detail in just a moment, is that's the way that I think we need to be thinking. We need to be considering that AI is causing a lot of new problems. How can we, you and I, solve those new problems in interesting ways? And it turns out, guys, that understanding how to use AI and using AI is a really effective way of fighting these new problems. These new problems that are caused by AI, well, we can use AI to empower ourselves to fight these problems. And what I think is interesting here, I'm gonna reference a few more videos here, is that what we're seeing here is a pattern. We are seeing a pattern. Don't let people lull you into a safe sense of security because AI is replacing jobs. We're seeing a pattern here. Earlier or late last year, we saw that Amazon fired over 14,000 corporate employees. And CEO Andy Jassy said, quote, we will need fewer people doing some of the jobs that are being done today and more people doing other types of jobs. You gotta be flexible. AI is replacing humans and solving problems that humans have previously solved. Duolingo, I'll post a link to this video, is a language learning app. And late last year, they fired hundreds and hundreds of contractors. Why? Duolingo decided that they are gonna be using AI to help teach people how to speak different languages. IBM last year announced they will fire thousands of employees because they are using AI agents. And again, now we have yet another company, Angi Inc, that is following that same suit. Boys, the pattern is clear. The pattern is clear. And if you want to close your eyes on this because you think that you're irreplaceable, I would strongly encourage you to reconsider. I'm not here to doom and gloom you and say that AI is going to take every job and you're going to be out of work forever and you're never going to have any purpose. That is not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that AI is going to change the way that you show up in the workforce. And now is the time to start adjusting and using these new tools. Don't get comfortable. Use the tools, not just privately, but publicly. Tell people that you're doing it. Tell your boss, tell your clients, tell your customers, tell social media that you are using these tools. That is really, really important. And continuously look for new problems to solve. As more tools are being integrated into the workforce, more new problems are going to arise for you to solve. And most importantly, guys, leverage the relationships that you have. Get on phone calls, join the Zoom meetings, go on coffee dates, for lack of a better term. But leverage relationships, it's really, really going to be important as we move forward. In fact, studies show that knowing someone at a company quadruples your chance of getting a contract or working with that company. So check that out. Guys, if you like today's video, make sure you leave a like, a subscribe, because A fresh video is coming to you 6 days a week. And if you like this video, you'll definitely be interested in yesterday's video where we look at some specific charts and findings from a new Stanford study on how quickly AI is advancing. Check out yesterday's video and I'll see you there. Guys, in the meantime, I got to bounce. I'll see you later. Peace.